In the summer of 1582, the caravel Mercy sailed from Plymouth under a hard wind and a sky that never seemed to settle. We were 20 men aboard a vessel no longer than a village street, carrying salt beef, stale water, and the hope that our captain's new route would make us the fastest ship ever to cross the Atlantic. Captain Edward Aldridge carried himself with the confidence of a man convinced destiny waited for him beyond the horizon. The rest of us carried quiet doubts. For the first days, the sea behaved. The wind held, the swell rolled gently. Porpoises followed, birds circled, and nothing gave reason to fear. Then, without warning, the water warmed beneath us hot as bathwater, metallic in smell, thick in texture. Gulls vanished from the sky. The waves flattened into dark glass. And on our 6th night, something struck the hull from below. It was not driftwood. It was not storm debris. It was deliberate. A single heavy blow that made every lantern shiver. The next night, the knocking returned soft, spaced evenly apart, almost as if a giant knuckle tapped politely at our keel. At dawn, a dead pilot whale appeared alongside us. Its skin had been peeled in 2 long strips cleaned surgical, not the ragged tearing of feeding teeth. Whatever killed it wasn't hunting. It was experimenting. We lowered a sounding line. 150 fathoms of rope disappeared into nothingness. There was no bottom. It's only a slow current pulling south, as if something deep below was breathing. Then came the night the hull groaned. The sea around us darkened, turning as black as pitch. Something moved underneath the ship, longer than the Mercy, slow and studying. A haze of shadow drifted in a circle below. And then, in the moon's pale scatter, I saw an eye turn upward. Large, cold, purposeful. Before dawn, something scraped along the rudder post. Not by accident. It knew exactly where to strike. Sutter, the carpenter, went over the side to inspect the damage. He came back trembling with a splinter of white embedded in the wood, a tooth-like fragment, too large for any shark known to man, too heavy for bone, too old to belong to anything described in any sailor's tale. By daylight we argued whether the creature would leave us be. But the creature had already answered. That night, the sea beneath the keel glowed faintly, a pale blue shimmer rising from below. When Ned Tripp slipped overboard after a sudden jolt, the water lit around him in soft, ghostly outlines, revealing something immense passing beneath his struggling legs. It did not bite him. It brushed him. Shallow cuts like the scrape of rough hide marking him, not killing him. Hours later, its head surfaced. A massive, blunt shape, pitted with scars that spoke of battles against things even larger. Its eye slid along the waterline, fixed on the Mercy. Intelligence lived behind that gaze, old and patient. Owen, the weigher, whispered, "We don't strike a maker of swells with a hand iron, but fear makes fools of men." The captain ordered the swivel gun loaded. The creature rose again, turning. Owen fired. The shot struck the broad head, smoke rolled. The creature vanished into the depths. Then it struck. The force lifted the Mercy sideways, nearly throwing us into the sea. Barrels broke. The rudder cracked in half. Men screamed as they slammed into masts and rails. The ship spun helplessly in dead water as the creature circled below, slower this time, almost curious. Hours later, the hull began to pulse beneath our feet. Warmth rose through the planks, a rhythm deep, steady, like a heartbeat throbbed through the timber. I knelt, pressed my palm to the wood, and felt something breathing beneath the ship. Something vast, something aware. I ran to the captain. He looked up from the chart table with eyes that already knew the truth. "It started," he said. "The recognition." Before I could ask what he meant, a slow thudding moved along the hull, circling us. Not striking, inspecting. Then a voice seeped through the planks. Not sound, not words. A vibration in my bones. A whisper speaking in a language older than the oceans. Images flickered behind my eyes, black corridors beneath the sea. Glowing blue veins of light, a city of impossible geometry resting on the ocean floor. The whisper fell into a single word. Return. The temperature dropped so sharply that frost gathered along the metal rings of the porthole. The whisper burrowed deeper, threading through muscle and marrow. Then a sailor screamed above deck. He rushed up the ladder. The water surrounding the Mercy glowed, lit from below by swirling shapes. Tendrils of translucent flesh rose from the depths, slong, segmented, each pulsing with blue light. They moved with terrible grace, curling toward the hull, reaching. The glow intensified as the tendrils swayed nearer. The sea steamed in the cold air. The men retreated, but the tendrils were not reaching for the ship. They were reaching for me. One stopped inches from my chest, hovering, its inner light flickering in patterns I felt more than understood. My skin tingled as though thousands of needles brushed it. Owen grabbed my arm to pull me back, and the tendril followed, mirroring the motion. The men froze. A deep shape rose beneath us, larger than before. The tendrils withdrew. Every light blinked out at once. The sea dropped into perfect darkness. The Mercy drifted, silent. Then the creature rose a final time, just enough for its great back to break the surface. Scars glistened. Its tail swept once, not a strike, but a gesture. A mark of recognition, a memory sealed. Then it slipped beneath the water and vanished. The sea flattened. The glow died. The warmth in the hull faded away. We waited for the next attack. It never came. The Mercy limped north on broken spars and torn canvas. Days later, a storm scattered us. Was found alone in a longboat, delirious, half dead. No other man from the Mercy was ever seen again. No wreckage, no bodies, no trace of the creature. But on calm nights, when the sea warms unnaturally and the waves settle into glass, I still feel a faint pulsing under the hulls of passing ships. A heartbeat in the deep, calling, waiting, remembering, and sometimes when the wind dies completely, I hear the whisper again, return.